is your vitamin M. This is your motivation for the week. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Yes, we are in the house. Listen, welcome to your vitamin M, your weekly dose of motivation with your host. Listen, your hype girl, you know it's me. It is me in the house, Marshall Sterling, and I am so excited always about our time that we get to spend together. So on tonight, listen, we have another hot topic on board, and I am ready for our topic on tonight, and we are going to immediately dive in. On tonight, we are only going to begin to touch the surface of this topic. It is such a deep topic with so much research and opinions and thoughts behind it. I'm going to take my little piece of the pie on tonight, and we are going to talk about habits. Habits. That's what we are going to dive into tonight. And again, we're only going to be able to touch the surface of the topic of habits. And habits can be good or bad. I'm going to say that again. Habits can be good or bad. It depends on the habit, and it depends also, in my opinion, of how does the habit impact your life? What impact does the habit have on your life is a determining factor of whether this is something that is a good habit or something that is a not so good habit. So what does the word habit mean? Habit is a noun, and it means settled or regular tendency or practice. It is settled or regular tendency or practice, especially one that is hard to give up. Especially one that is hard to give up. So a habit is defined, it is something that we do over and over and over and over and over again. It is a regular tendency or a regular practice. A habit can also be interchanged in a sense with a practice, a custom, a routine, or a pattern. It is, again, something that we do over and over and over again. And so, listen, I want you to stop, because we're going to pause together, because I had to pause and I had to also think about this. I had to think about my habits in my life. And I want you to stop and just take a moment, not long, because if I say the word habit, what immediately came to your mind when you heard me say that we were going to dive into habits on tonight? What came to your mind? What came to your mind? Because when I began to think about habits, to think about the word habit, lots of things came to my mind. Some pretty quick, easy ones were something as simple as the way I drive to work. I have formed a practice and a routine, a habit, a tendency to go a certain direction. So I go a certain way to work every single solitary day. And I usually don't deviate from my route. I get up at the same time because I already know how long I need to be able to get everything going so that I'm able to leave my house and get where I need to go by a certain time before my kids begin to enter the building. I also have a habit of, although my car, when you get inside of it and you start the engine, or you close the doors, when you start the engine, the doors automatically lock, but I still have the habit of looking over to make sure that my doors are actually locked. It is a habit. It is a practice. It's a tendency. I automatically do it when I get inside of my vehicle. It is also a habit or a tendency. It is a habit a practice or a tendency for me, maybe not for you, but for me, I formed this habit a long time ago. I've had a habit my whole entire life, and it's something that works well for me. And it may be that I'm nervous. It may be getting out nervous energy, but when I'm trying to study, or I'm working on something, or I want to memorize something, then I'm going to pace. Sometimes I'm just making circles. Sometimes I'm just walking around, or I'm going back and forth, and I'm stopping, and I have something in my hand, and I'm going over it over and over and over and over again, which also goes along with me repeating things. I repeat things for myself to ensure that I am able to remember whatever it is I want to remember. Those are my study habits. I break things into small chunks. That is how I study, and I begin to walk around. That is my habit of me being able to retain the information that I want to retain. Those habits are things that are benefiting me. See, a habit is formed very easily because it is something that we begin to repeat over and over and over again. And when I said that a habit has a tendency, it can be either something that is positive or something that is negative. So I ask my question to myself, and I will ask you the same thing. I'll ask you the same question. Are your habits benefiting you? Or are they benefiting us? Because we're in this together. I ask myself, Marshall, are my habits benefiting me? Driving the same way to work, does it benefit me? And the answer to that is yes, it does. It gives me a routine. It gives me a pattern. I know how long it's going to take to get from my house to my job. That benefits me. That is a habit that is benefiting me. However, or are your habits causing you, and not necessarily causing you harm, but causing you harm? They're not benefiting you. They are doing more good. They are doing more bad than they are good. So you have to be able to put your habits into categories, and so do all of us. We have to be able to categorize our habits to see the impact that the habits are having on our life. So when we think about our habits, we also want to think about, because remember what we have been talking about thus far this month, the first month of the year, we have all talked about getting in focus and making sure that we're setting ourselves up for the big win, for the success that we want to see at the end of the year. And so we talked about our why. We talked about dreaming big. We talked about our one word, and what we and I want you to be able to do on tonight is bring that all together. And that's why habits fit so well right here, because we want to be able to bring that all together, and we want to make sure that our habits fall in line with where we want to go. Are your habits falling in line with your why? Because you should have discovered your why by now. You should know why you're doing what you're doing and be able to explain it to others. Does it align with your one word? Is it going to benefit your big dreams? Your habits. We're going to dive in further after these messages.
Welcome to God is Ministries. Experience the anointing. Come and join Pastor and founder Apostle Tweedy Thomas and the God is Ministries family for one of our Power Pack services. Sunday morning worship at 9 a.m. Wednesday night Bible study at 7 p.m. And Saturday morning glory prayer via Zoom at 10 a.m. Located at Holy Ghost Headquarters, 610 North Cedar Ridge Drive, Duncanville, Texas 75116. If you are in the DFW area and you are looking for somewhere to visit, or you are looking for a new church home, come and visit us for one of our services. Areas of ministry include Men and Women's Ministry, Healing Hands Food Pantry, Couples Ministry, Singles Ministry, Ministries in Training, Angels of Prayer, Youth Ministry, Throwback Choir, and much more. God is Ministries. Experience the anointing.
Listen, thank you for coming back and continuing to join me. We are talking about habits. Habits, habits, habits. Are our habits benefiting us, or are they driving us in the wrong direction? Are they being the opposite of what we need our habits to be? Because before we left, remember I said that our habits should align with our why. Our habits should align with our one word, and our habits should be the driving force behind dreaming big. Are your habits benefiting you? Are your habits benefiting you? Are they helping you to get where you want and need to go, where you are destined to go in the first place? What are your habits doing for you? Because we have to be intentional, focused, and purposeful behind our habits and our actions so that they are benefiting us, because we want to lose the things in our life that are not going where I want to go, whether that's things or whether that is people. We also need to ditch the people in our lives that are not going where I want to go with my dreams. And so my habits need to align to where I am going. What do you need to lose? And I'm going to ask you this question. Hold on. What do you need to lose, ditch, get rid of that's not benefiting your life and where you desire to go? You want to come on close to come on in the room. Let's talk about it. We all have things in our lives that we need to tweak, that we need to change. And sometimes you just need to outright run from it and ditch it and just go the total opposite direction, because those things are not getting you where you want to be. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Something very simple, because listen, I don't want to be all up in your business, and I don't want you like, oh my God, but I want you to stop into that and listen, what it say, to your own self, whoever said it. I'm not trying to sell old cliche, but what I am saying is that you can lie to everybody else, but please don't lie to yourself. Again, you can lie to all the rest of us, but don't lie to your own self. Be truthful to you. Look at your own life and determine, what do I really need to get rid of? What do I need to run away from that's not benefiting me? So I can tell you a couple of things. Hitting snooze in the morning time, because when I hit snooze, I already know what's going to happen. And all the snoozers, raise your hand. Yes, up, snoozers in the house. What? You already know you snooze. We snooze, and then what happened? Then we run around like a chicken with our neck cut off, trying to get dressed and make it to work on time. Only if we would have just gotten up when the alarm clock went off. All the people, that included me, that at times we stay up a little bit too late. Again, all the late stayers in the house, raise your hand. You know it's you. Yes, I'm probably talking to you too. All the people that stay up way too late. And then what does that do? That makes you what? Hit the snooze button in the morning time, because you like, I just need a few more minutes of sleep. You should have went to bed. We should have went to bed last night, but we did not. So now we still once again running around, and then we fussing at people. We mad, we angry, and then our whole day is thrown off because all we had to do was get up. All we do is get up on time. Don't hit the snooze button and get up on time. But how about the night before you should have went to bed? Because your yesterday night self would have loved your morning self had you went to bed. The other thing that I do is, you may not know it, and that's why I'm like, listen, you may not know it, and some of you that do, you know, you don't, you about to find out. See, I bite my nails. I have this nail biting habit. And when I get nervous, and sometimes I don't even know, and it just comes automatic. Well, the thing about nail biting, yes, is that, okay, in the moment, it sounds like it's a great idea to myself, but it really doesn't benefit me, because then I end up and I mess up my manicure, I mess up my nails, I mess up my design. And then at times I will cause the side of my fingers to bleed, and then I'm mad and I got to bandage it up. And I got to put some Neosporin, or if you know my mama, then you know what I'm about to say. She's going to tell you put some Campho-Phenique on it. Or I'm putting Campho-Phenique on it to make it better, only if I had just made the decision not to bite my nails or replace my nail biting habit with something else, something that is very easy. Listen, is it negative self-talk for you? Is it nail biting? Is it staying up too late? Is it hitting the snooze button? Is it not setting boundaries? What is it that you need to ditch that's not benefiting you? So we have to make an effort together as a family, as a Sterling Inner Circle. We have to make an effort to get rid of the things in our life that are truly not going where we want to go or doing what we want to do. They're not benefiting us. What are those things? Because whatever you focus on is what you produce. Whatever you focus on is what you produce, is what you grow more of. So if it's something in your life that you don't desire, or that you don't care that much about, just think about it. If you're concentrating and you're putting more time and effort and time, and it's something you're doing over and over and over and over and over again, you just turned it into a habit. We just turned it together into a habit because we kept producing it. You are what you produce. So if we want something else, then we have to produce something else. We have to begin to cut out what we don't want and focus on what we really want. Cut out what you don't want and focus on what you do want. So for me, if I don't want to feel sluggish, then I need to cut out the sugar, and I need to cut out the caffeine and replace it with something else. I need to replace it with water. I need to replace it with exercise. It could be anything else, because I want to cut those things that I don't desire anymore. And I want to then produce the things that I do desire, because remember, a habit is a routine of behavior that is repeated regularly over and over and over and over and over again. And so sometimes we can produce and make something that we don't want a habit, because we keep doing it over and over and over and over again. And your habit should become, and here's the thing about a habit, even when it's something you don't like, it becomes automatic. A habit should be automatic. I don't think about talking. I just open my mouth and start talking. I don't think about walking. I just get up and start walking. It's automatic. I don't think about whether or not a chair is going to be able to hold me. I just go and sit in it. And so the same with our habits. A habit should become so routine that you don't even think about it. It's just automatic. It's just something that happens in your life that you don't even think about, that it's something that's it just happens. It's just that automatic. And so one of the things that I did, I started a T-chart, things that I want to start doing and things that I want to stop doing, because I want to start doing the things that benefit me, that get me to my why, that get me to my one word. But I want to stop doing the things that are the opposite of that. And so once again, what do I want to start doing? I want to ensure that I continue and start my habit back up of regularly drinking my water. I want to ensure that I go to bed on time, so I'm setting a regular bedtime for myself. And I also want to start being kind to myself. Those are things that I want to produce, because they get me where I want to go. We're going to go further. We got a little bit more to talk about after these messages.
Marshall Sterling is available for your next event. Known for her energetic speaking style and down-to-earth teaching, Marshall has made a positive impact on her audience at every engagement. Whether it is a keynote address, conference, workshop, breakout session, or staff meeting, Marshall brings the same fire and excitement to every session. To bring the Sterling experience to your next event, scan the QR code on the screen or go to www.marshallsterling.com.
I hope that you are enjoying our discussion about habits. It has been good to me. Listen, it's so much to dive into about habits. I don't know yet, but we might have to do a part 2. We may have to turn habits into a series, but listen, it is so much there and so much to unpack. Like I was saying, when we think about habits, we want our habits to benefit us. And I was talking about, our T-chart that I want you to make. So this is my quick reminder to make your T-chart. And you want to do the things you want to start doing and the things you want to stop doing. And I said, I want to make sure that I create my habit back around drinking my water regularly, getting up and exercise and movement, creating a regular bedtime, because then that breaks the opposite habit of oversleeping and hitting the snooze button. And then also the habit of being kind to yourself, giving yourself a break. We extend love and kindness to others, but do you also extend that same love and kindness to yourself? And so listen, with anything else, with a habit, you have to have confidence behind it to know that you're going to actually do it and get it done, because a habit is formed because it's something, again, that you do over and over and over and over again. And even if it's something that you don't want, if you do it over and over and over again, you just created a habit, even though you know the habit is not benefiting your life. See, there are certain habits that highly successful people that they own. And a couple of those are organization, relaxation, taking action, personal care, and having a positive attitude. And what do you think about organization? Organization is that they keep the things around them organized so that they're able to interact with everybody around them, so that they're able to make the right choices, the right decisions. Because when things are in chaos, then you can't get where you need to go. They also know the importance of just relaxing, of having some downtime. Even if it is just, again, what if it's just 5 minutes? What if it is a minute? What if it's a minute of meditation, 30 seconds of meditation? They know the power of relaxation. They also know the power of when my things are organized, when I'm relaxed. They also know the power of, hey, you got to get up and you got to do something, because taking action means something. It's one thing to have a habit. It's one thing to have my one word. It's one thing to dream big. It's one thing to know my why. But if you sit back on it and you do nothing with it, you still are not getting where you want to go. They also know how to take care of themselves personally. And with that, they add on a positive attitude. They have a positive attitude and outlook about life. All of that combined are the habits of successful people and why they are able to get where they want to go. And so ask yourself, why do you want to create good habits? And why does highly successful people create the habits anyway? And for me, personally, I'm gonna ask Marshall, why do you want to create good habits? And you can put your name there. Why do you want to create the good habits anyway? And I can tell you the number one reason, or at least mine. People can argue. They may have a difference of opinion, whatever. I'm telling you that my personal thought about it, and if you're asking me and you're listening and you're watching the show, the number one reason is goal attainment. Goal attainment. Goal attainment. Why? Because I want to set myself up in such a way that I get out of life everything that life owes me, everything that I deserve, everything that I desire. I want to get it. I don't want to leave anything here. I don't want to leave anything on the table. I want to be able to do that. And so for me to get out of my life, for me to dream big, for me to be able to talk about my why, for me to be intentional and have my one word, I have to create a practice around intentionality. I have to practice being intentional and make a habit of it for it to actually work out. You know, I'm telling you, listen, let me tell you something. If you want to get to that next level, and I know you do, let's talk about let's stop for a minute and pause and talk about goal attainment. You know what I'm talking about, and I'm lowering my voice and I'm getting real close to the camera. You know what I'm talking about. You know the stuff that you haven't told anybody about. You know the tears that you've cried on your pillow and that you've laid out and stretched out for those goals, those dreams, the ones that you shed the most tears for, the ones that you've cried over in the midnight hour, the tears that you shed in your shower, the ones that in your private journal, those dreams, those hopes and those desires, you get there through creating habits around it. So what habits do you need to create? And what system do you need to put in place to be able to do that? And I can tell you quickly, one of them for me is also being intentional about my time, using my time wisely, because I have so many things that I'm doing. So for me to get where I want to go and do all that I need to do, I have to create a habit around being intentional about my time, being intentional about where I want to go and what I want to do, so that I don't waste my time, so that I use my time wisely. Listen, go get it, go get it, go get it. Get your vitamin M, get your vitamin M. You got it on tonight, go get it. Hey, making sure your shoulders go get it. Get your vitamins, get your vitamins. Hey, get your vitamins. You got your vitamin M on tonight. We have just touched the surface of habits. I love you. I appreciate you. Hey, this has been your vitamin M. This is your motivation for the week from your girl, your hype girl, Marshall Sterling. I love you. I love you. I love you. Go and make it an amazing week.
Join us next week to get your weekly dose of vitamin M. Book Marshall for your next event. Advertise with us. Scan here to set up your discovery call. Let's grow together. Please visit our website at www.marshallsterling.com.